Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Denise. Welcome back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, a lot has been going on. But what I will say I'm super stoked about is let's talk a little bit about our road trip to Podfest 2025. How about that?
That sounds awesome.
All right. So we were originally going to fly there, right? But then some things came up. You had some family things going on. We didn't even know if we were going to be able to make it work. And then we decided last minute, fuck it, let's just road trip it, right? There were no good
Yeah.
flights out there. We were going to have connections to go down to Orlando from Charlotte. Nobody wants that. We're just going to pack our stuff.
When your flight time is almost as long as it would take you to drive, it's just better to drive.
Absolutely. And the other thing you may or may not know about the Divas is that we do not pack light, people.
Right. So even when we're considering a budget airline, we have to take into consideration our luggage because
Huge bag.
we are not ones to pack light for sure.
And it's maybe we're going to try our hardest to keep it under 50 pounds, but we
One
do
of
not.
us is checking a bag. That absolutely.
Oh,
So we decided to drive, and I like to drive. So we loaded up the car, and when I say loaded, I mean we loaded the car. Because at this point, we're like, okay, we can take everything. We can take our food, we can take our alcohol, we can take our giveaways. Like we didn't, the sky was the limit at this point. So we
we
did
really,
load up my SUV.
yeah. And technically, it's only supposed to take us 8.5 hours to get to Orlando from Charlotte. But that's like if you do not stop at all. Like you have to have potty breaks and, not
And
the
I'm a
whole
stopper when it comes to road trips. So
well,
it's
yeah.
And the ride down didn't take us any longer than it should have, I don't think. The ride back, which is what you guys will hear in a little bit, is we were tired. We had an
And
amazing week at Podfest and we were exhausted on our drive home. So we took our time and we hit
yeah,
rain. So
it
we
was bad
decided
rain.
it was bad rain. So we decided to record our travels while we were driving home. And that's what you guys are going to hear is kind of like just what road trip chatter we have when we're traveling. This is one
Yeah,
of our longest road trips.
we were reflecting on what had happened that week, but I will say shout out to the Easy Pass, which also works in multiple states, anywhere all the way up I-95 from the Maine, up to Maine all the way down to Florida. So the Easy Pass made it so much easier. Like, Cheryl, you didn't know about the Easy Pass, right? But when we rolled into just outside of Orlando, and one side is a parking lot, and then we're breezing by, in our Easy Pass, paying 50 cents tolls. I think the total was what, $3?
Yeah, I think it was under like $3. So it was
So Easy
definitely worth
Pass
it.
Sunbelt is worth its weight in gold. Definitely, if you're driving, people invest in that Easy Pass because it's a lifesaver. First, it saves you so
Yeah.
much time. And
And
the
we had originally planned to make the road trip like stop along the way, do some hidden gems. We did not stop on the way. We were just excited to get there. We
was
kind of,
so
I think, got
cold though.
started later, or did we get early? No, earlier. We left earlier. And then on the
We
return
left
trip, we
earlier on
got
the
up.
way there.
On the
Yeah.
way back, we ended up leaving way later than we would have liked. But
Well,
again, we were
but we
tired.
had paid.
So what you guys are going to hear is us on the car in the car driving back from Orlando to Charlotte. We
And we
had a
did
couple
hit a
different
Bucky's.
discussions. We did hit a Bucky's,
Hit a
which
Bucky's on the way back. When we wanted to on the way down, but you accidentally missed it.
yeah,
We got off the ramp and everything. And I don't know what happened. Like we got off, we thought we're getting off at Bucky's. Next thing we know, we're back on I-95.
yeah.
And there was no easy way to turn around. And at that point, we're like, that's
Yeah, we just kept going. I
yeah.
mean, and it's interesting. We had some really good conversations about what road tripping means. So after you guys listen, we definitely want to hear what your definition of a road trip is and how you guys like to road trip. Are you long trips? Do you prefer to drive like the distance? Is that part of the trip, the vacation, the actual drive? Or are you just road tripping to get from your destination point A to point B kind of thing? So
Yeah.
we had
Because
some good conversations about that.
we were gonna stop at Jekyll Island on the way back, but it was so cold. Like I said, cold and rainy does not equal beach.
And we were tired.
We were so tired.
So we did not get the content that we had thought on the way there and back, but we did have an amazing time while we were there at
And
Podfest.
we got tons of
So
content at Podfest. It was
yeah,
amazing. And that
and
Hoova
learned a
app,
lot.
I don't know if any of you guys have been to trainings or conventions where you pick out trainings or you connect with people, but that Hoova app, I don't know what they paid for it, but it was amazing. It told you where you needed to be, what the trainings were going to be, and it gave you the trainer's name and allows you to reconnect with people that were there. Like that was an amazing
It was
app.
one of the best apps I've had at a convention like this,
Correct.
where you could network before, during, and after. Like we still have access to all the information as well as all the people that were at the event that we can still connect with at post event. But so
Absolutely.
for this episode and probably one more, we're going to kind of talk about our adventures with Podfest 2025. We want to give a great big shout out to Buzzsprout, who
Buzzsprout.
is our podcast host. They were the ones that kind of, I guess, sponsored. We applied and they gave us the ticket to go to Podfest,
Creator
which
Pass. Yep.
what we learned was invaluable. Like
Correct.
absolutely amazing. We recommend this event for any podcasters beginning, no matter where you are in your podcasting
And there were
journey. We
so many
recommend you
different
go.
people we met and people that do very different podcasts than what we do, but it was still relatable material. And there's some podcasters that have been doing this for over 20 years, and that kind of blows my mind, 'cause
Right. I know how old podcasting is. Yeah.
right.
So for
So
this week's episode, check out what it was like when our conversations road tripping back from Podfest,
yes,
from Orlando to Charlotte, Concord area. And then stay tuned for upcoming episode about Podfest and about like what we learned and with some new things we're going to be implementing, some
yep.
things we're going to be changing because we did learn the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to
And
podcasting, what we've been
normally
doing.
I am the passenger princess and Cheryl is the vigilant driver
Yeah.
typically. But on the way home, which you'll see, I took a turn driving, which is out of my not out of my comfort level, but I do prefer to be the passenger. And Cheryl was very impressed with my driving skills, right, Cheryl?
Yes, you are a very good driver. I wasn't nervous, except for I didn't remember this until I went back to listen to the audio. Where when we first get started, I don't even know if it's in the episode, but when
It's
you
not.
the stop sign, it's not okay. So maybe I'll
Where
have to add
where
that part to the
where
bloopers.
you're like, that's a stop sign, stop. I was like, well, the guy before me didn't. It was on the exit ramp to the welcome
Yeah,
center.
but it
So
was
in my
funny, but
defense.
yeah.
And I pulled out and was going speedy, lickety split. And she was supposed to tell me there was a cop right there, and she didn't. But that didn't make the cut either. But it turned out that we were perfectly fine as me being the driver. And so buckle up and we're gonna take you for a ride. So overall, what are your feelings about Podfest 2025, Cheryl?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
We learned a lot. Oh, overwhelming in a good way. That's been I think our buzzword this week is overwhelming, but positive.
Yes.
Overwhelming. Because we learned so much that we should be implementing, that we should be redoing, doing differently.
But it was also nice and refreshing to see that we already had a lot of things in place on our podcast that we're doing right too, that we're
Correct.
implementing, and we're ahead of the ball on a lot of other podcasts. Not that it's a competition, it's just nice to know that you're doing things right as well.
Well, and I thought in the one class that we were in where we kind of had the round table and the lady who was getting ready to start a podcast, and we were like, well, don't do this because we just learned this,
Learn from our mistakes.
It was nice to, even though we are newbies, I like to call us the newbies or the babies in the podcasting world, we were able to give some feedback, like some of our own experience, and have some value there.
Yes, consistency is key.
And I will say, because we did divide and conquer because we both do two different roles within the podcast.
Yep.
And what I liked was I felt like we were on, for my part, like the editing, and which I'm not doing anything like wrong, and I'm not necessarily using the wrong programs or anything like that. I can increase and do better always. We'll always be doing better. But
Yeah, there's always room for
I
improvement.
was worried that at some point we're just going to have to outsource it because it wasn't something that we can do and produce a
No, but that one guy yesterday, Adam.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is I realized that we are using the right tools for the most part. There are, like, we did discuss doing better with the mics, but I don't think that was why the one audio was off on our episode.
That was off. You're right. But they're not all like that.
Right. It's so weird. So it's the tweaking and those things that we have the right tools. We just aren't
trial and error.
Yeah, we're learning how to use them to the best of their ability.
Right.
So I felt much better about that. Like, not having to sink a ton of more money in when we have gone through things, because I do think it's trial and error in the type of equipment you use, the type of platforms you. Although I have to say, where our host is, I love our host.
I know, and that's so
great. Which is Buzzsprout. I want to give them a shout out because they are, one, it was super user friendly just to get started, but they in themselves are just friendly. We got to meet some of them.
We went by the vendor table.
Yeah, and even there, we were like,
fountain of knowledge.
Right, we just wanted to stop by and say hi and thank them for the opportunity because they got our ticket.
I just saw wine on the back of it. It said Winnebago. You can tell where my mind goes.
Well, it will be a well-deserved glass of wine when you get home tonight.
Yes.
Because it will be tonight when we get home.
Yep. Let me get in front of that Winnebago.
One of the other things I think we realized is from now on we will have to add on that extra day. Like, we should have planned to stay to recoup because it was go for like 4 days straight.
Yes.
And then getting up today.
Well, I mean, it was on us to go to the Podfest last night and stay out very late.
Which we know we would want any closing event. Like, we want to take advantage of everything they have.
We were having a fabulous time. We met a lot of new friends. We had no clue who they are, but we were all having a wonderful time. We brought our wine purses and did not have to pay for a drop of the bar.
Correct.
And so that saved us money. So as travel advisors, we know the tips and trips. You know what I mean.
I do. Your tips and tricks. And
yes.
It's just because we're tired.
I am tired. Let me have some more of this.
You have to tell me how that
Mountain
is.
Dew. What is it called?
Mountain Burst? Does that sound right?
No.
Not Mountain Brew. That wouldn't make sense. What'd you do with the can?
I threw it away.
Oh.
At the bus stop.
At the bus stop. What was it? Rest stop.
At the Welcome Center.
You said I guess their buses do stop there.
Technically, I'm not wrong.
That is true.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay.
Or is it allergies? Because we had. Oh, okay.
No,
so
I'm crying.
let's talk about the hotel because now, first of all, really nice hotel. We actually.
Are you talking about the one we stayed in?
Yes, the one we stayed in. Really nice hotel.
So that's telling him that he's close to me, right?
No, that was an alert for you to tell you that this car is here.
Okay.
Not a cop. I was paying attention.
Yep.
Because that alerted me. But that's from the app. Whichever app you use. I'm just using Google Maps.
I think I'm using Google Maps.
Correct. I like Google Maps. I like Google everything. But we stayed at the Hampton Inn and Suites.
Yep.
SeaWorld.
Yep.
And
got an excellent TA rate.
we did that. But Aaron, is that correct, his name? Who checked us in?
He was amazing.
Yes. Friendly, so sweet. And the
Had
hotel.
the most amazing meals.
He did, yes. But the room was nice. Beds were okay. I mean, they're hotel beds.
It was a double queen room.
Yeah, plenty of space.
It was, and it had.
However, the bathroom.
Oh yeah, the door was shit.
So for some reason,
Why does everybody
the
want to
new
put in
thing
sliders?
is the barn sliding door,
Oh.
which means it didn't lock.
No privacy either.
Yeah, no privacy. So it didn't lock and it didn't have a track at the bottom.
Yeah, if you're a nervous pottier, then that's not going to work for you.
So every time we go to the bathroom, we're turning on the tub because there's no fan
There was
either.
no fan, and I will say, I'm not trying to shit on it. Overall, I liked the room, but there was not enough light in there.
Oh, yeah,
it
there
was
wasn't.
very dark, and it did smell a little off. But other than that,
But I think it was and it might be the area because
The breakfast buffet that was complimentary was good.
It was.
Tell them about the little waffle makers.
Yeah, so this was interesting. They had, which most people like when you go to the continental breakfasts, they have the waffle makers.
Mm-hmm.
This one had chocolate and vanilla batter.
And 2 waffle makers of different kinds.
Yeah, there was a mini waffle maker and then there was just a regular waffle maker. And I will say the chocolate batter, because I had to try it because I like chocolate, it was a cocoa.
It was called malted mocha chocolate.
No, it wasn't mocha.
It had
I
some
did take
kind
a
of
picture of
yeah.
it, so I'll have to.
There was something in front of the word chocolate.
I think it might have been malted.
Malted chocolate, I believe is what it was called.
But it wasn't like they had added chocolate syrup or anything like that. It tasted like they had added cocoa powder to it, so it wasn't overly sweet. It just had a nice chocolate flavor. I really liked it.
And the vanilla was some kind of
French vanilla.
It was delicious.
It was. And then they had like eggs and some type of meat, it was meat every day.
Every day, yeah.
Cereal,
bagels, granola, and yogurt.
The best
fruits.
lemon pastries.
Oh yeah, the little lemon cookies
Blueberry,
or
were they
bakery.
lemon? Oh, they were so yummy.
I think they're supposed to be scones, right?
Oh, scones, yeah.
Yeah. They were delicious.
So overall, and a good variety of fruit juice, or
Yep.
juice in general.
And a coffee station.
But you didn't love the coffee.
I didn't love the coffee because I didn't have my creamer. They only had French vanilla and half, and I usually do caramel macchiato.
Yeah.
But I mean, that wasn't like
Oh, so it wasn't the coffee. It just you weren't able to make it the way you would normally make it.
It wasn't the creamer that
Okay, because some people are, and they had a couple choices for the coffee, right? The different
Yes.
types. That's what I thought. I did not, because I didn't try it because I had brought my own coffee, and they did have a coffee pot in the room.
Yes.
Just didn't use it. The refrigerator was so tiny.
But they had a microwave too. So
They did.
it was nice that they had the microwave in the fridge, the mini fridge.
You could walk to SeaWorld. Now I will say you could walk to SeaWorld easy, and we felt safe walking.
It's busy though, so you just have to use the crosswalks appropriately.
Yes, but where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say if you're staying there, you want to stay kind of off property a little bit, because the further back you go, the price will be different. If you're staying right across the street, which was the Renaissance,
the Renaissance is gorgeous, but really expensive.
it is pricey. So at the Hampton Inn, and we were beside.
That's where our convention was at the Renaissance, Orlando, SeaWorld.
Correct.
Parking was $40 a day.
And at the Hampton Inn also had parking. But if you were going to try to save some money and go and stay at the Hampton Inn so you guys could walk to
And that is a Hilton. That's a Hilton.
Right. If you're going to walk to SeaWorld, just keep in mind that you don't have enough space for food in the fridge, and there are not a lot of restaurants nearby that you can walk to. Bonefish Grill was there.
Bonefish Grill.
Again, that's more of a higher end restaurant. So if you're looking for easy, friendly, now you would have to drive. There was a Moe's.
Or do Uber Eats or
Which is
Grubhub.
what we did. Yeah. But I'm just letting people know that if you are planning, because I know when we travel, we always, with the kids, we would bring food, and then we would plan to eat out occasionally, but we would like to be able to walk to it and not have to keep driving.
And there was a
everywhere.
CVS walkable that I got some Prosecco.
Yes, they did have, and they had a pretty good wine selection.
Yeah, they
at
actually did
CVS.
for CVS.
So I would recommend that hotel, Hampton Inn,
I
for clients. I would just keep in mind, if it's a family and your goal is to kind of eat at the hotel or not eat in the park, to make a plan, because that refrigerator is not good enough for a family of 4 for several days to have food in there every day.
That's true. But we were also very efficient because we were trying to just do it on a budget, like not spend a ton of money, because we like to do multiple trips. We talked about New Orleans in March, maybe. There's a opportunity there. Anywho, so we like to try to budget a little better. So we packed, our charcuterie items and pepperoni and a fruit for our mimosas. Yeah. So we did have a good bit of food. Oh, But I did like on the other side, they had the pull-out bins where you could store food.
But there was
and
no
stuff.
dresser. That replaced the dresser.
Oh. Okay.
So this is definitely not somewhere where a family of 4 could come unpack for a week.
Oh yeah, for sure not.
It's more of a, I would say, a couple nights to see SeaWorld. If you're going elsewhere, I think there are other locations that probably would fit better. But if this is a friend or an adults only kind of thing, you guys could absolutely make this hotel work.
Yeah. And for the price of what we paid as our TA rates, I think the average price of that room was normally like $235 or something.
Or up to $250.
Yeah,
I think he quoted that night when we checked in about $250.
And I think our agent rate was $122.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't even a Marriott property that we normally get like 70-80% off, but that was still over half, so
yeah,
still good. And everything was booked around there. We couldn't even get into the Renaissance if we wanted to pay the group rate of $200 a night, because they were completely booked up.
Was it $200 or was it $299?
$199.
$199.
But then they put fees on that.
Oh yeah, you're not getting out for just the $199 group rate. There's gonna be.
Now it would have been nice not to have to walk back and forth, because the last night we stayed there, well, we walked back at like midnight, I guess. And it was cold. The first few days we were there, it was cold and windy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's unusual for Florida.
And the Renaissance did have restaurants, but they were expensive.
So expensive.
We paid
$15 for a mimosa, like a skinny little flute mimosa.
Although it was a good mimosa,
It was
because he said, I just put a splash of juice in there. It was the majority of it was
Prosecco.
Yeah,
Which is nice.
we didn't explore the area too much.
We didn't have time.
Right.
It
So
was constant
this was
training from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then they had after parties, and these two guys are maybe racing each other. What the hell?
where they just go fast. Like
Yeah.
now, this guy's staying in the fast lane. That I don't. Even though he is going over the speed limit.
Yeah, but if you see somebody
Yeah,
riding your ass,
there he goes. He should be
and
getting
then
over.
this is what I don't understand. He put his blinker on to go behind him.
Well, I think he was gonna try to pass him, but then he finally got over.
Yeah. Listen, if you're in that much of a fucking hurry, go on then. Do it.
Oh, yeah.
You do you. I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to go the speed limit. I don't want to be dealing with any crazy ass drivers or road ragers, people that have guns.
I get road rage, but I keep it in the car. It's
I
like
don't.
my safety bubble.
It's not worth it to me. I take a deep breath. I use my meditation techniques.
Nope, I just let it out because like a sailor. But I always keep my expressions and my hands down. Like I don't talk with my hands as much when I'm raging at people in the car because I don't want them to think I'm flipping them off or being mean, or so that they don't pull
Kill you.
something on. Yeah, exactly. So I'm a closet
You're a
road
closet road
rager.
rager.
Yeah, I'm a closet road rager. I want to be, but I'm also like, one, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings if they've been having like a shitty day themselves.
Well, that's not.
And I try to keep in mind they could be rushing because anything could be happening. And usually when I get frustrated is when I'm late, and that's my fault. So I have to keep that in mind. And then the second is I don't want them to kill me.
Yeah.
Look, another Buc-ee's in 245 miles.
Yep, we did hit Buc-ee's. Got us some fudge.
We got some of the brisket.
Yep.
I still thought it was really good, but also I think we were just hungry because we've been surviving on cheese and crackers.
It was a little spicy in my opinion.
It's no Colby Jack.
Yeah, it's not a smooth Colby Jack.
There's an object on road ahead.
Object on road.
Okay.
I just meant something. It might be that thing right there, maybe. No. Well, there's some. You can see
There's
someone's
debris all
trash.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like this and the Waze app. I like both of those because they tell you that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm taking my shoes off.
I did the same thing when I was passenger princess.
I never get to do that, so I'm like, you know what? I'm taking my shoes off.
Take his shoes off and relax, honey. You're in good hands.
And actually, you're a really good driver. Normally, I'm nervous when other people are driving. That's why I'm always driving. But you're doing really good.
Thank you.
You're not making me nervous.
That's not all I'm good at. Oh, dang. All right, let me just get around him, sir. I just got in the fast lane to get around this big-ass wide load, and now I got
Well,
somebody
they know
riding
you're
my ass.
passing. They can suck it up for a minute. But I will tell you, that's why this light flashes, so don't get over until it's done flashing.
Okay.
Now, because truckers, you need to give them more space when you get over than you would a car. I'll never forget one of my road trips when I was like 16 or 17. I was driving, so I must have been 17 or 18, because I was driving a little blue Geo Metro, and I came from a rest stop, or yeah, rest area or something, came on the on-ramp, and I cut off an 18-wheeler, and they honked at me in my little blue Geo, which is like a Matchbox car
Yeah, they
compared to
could
that.
have honestly just...
And I know, because they were going downhill, and my dad used to drive bigger trucks, so I know that you're not supposed to do that, and it's
So why did you
stuck
do
with
it?
me. Because I was 17. And I know also you have to speed up. I'm not one that is slow on the on-ramp. You need to be at the speed of traffic.
Well, that's just inexperience.
Exactly. So it has stuck with me, and I'm like, I try to be, well, like I was telling you on the way down here, I love when the trucker, because I will flash when they can get over. I usually do let them over.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it when they flash their brakes as the thinky lights. That makes me happy, because no one does the little toot
I
toot
see
thing
the
anymore.
sun.
Well,
It's a little sunny. It's overcast, but I'll take it. Better than the torrential rain we had to drive through.
yes. That was rough for a
It
minute.
was scary. Look at those Bucky signs. It's 3. They must be rolling in the deep if they can
Well,
afford 3 fucking signs.
And it's 240 miles, but we almost missed the one we stopped
Beavers
at
at work.
because there wasn't a sign.
Oh my god, that's great. Beavers at work. We should have got our picture taken with Bucky.
It was pouring down. Oh, you mean
Inside.
yeah. Did we pass the one that we actually tried to go to on the way down?
You did. Mhm. You missed it.
Is that going to be a Buc-ee's right there?
That'd be fabulous.
I think
it
that
looks like
is
it
going to be a
is.
Buc-ee's right there.
Huh. Where are we?
I don't know. Remind me when we get to the next exit, and I'll say, coming soon, Buc-ee's. Yeah, that's a new Buc-ee's.
That's crazy. We were just talking about Buc-ee's, and there's a new one in the works right off I-95.
It's almost done.
We're in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Somewhere in Georgia, there's a Buc-ee's
Somewhere
coming
before
soon.
exit 49. 'Cause where's the
Coming
mile
near you.
marker? I haven't seen that in a minute, but I haven't paid attention since I've been driving. Oh, here's one. 43. So right before mile marker 43 is a new Buc-ee's. Off of 95 north. Did you do a lot of road trips when you were young?
That's a loaded question.
I saw that. That was like a pause with a.
Also,
gas.
we didn't fly anywhere because it was too expensive.
Oh, same.
But we did road trips, but we never really went far. I mean, I think Boston was one of our long road trips. And then, of course, for my 18th birthday, I went up to Canada with my brothers so we could drink.
What do you consider a road trip lengthwise? What is classified as a road trip?
I would say really to me, it doesn't have to be far. It just depends on what you're doing. Like even when we went to Raleigh, what was that? 2 hours, 2.5?
Yeah.
But we were going to the convention and we were spending the night at the Marriott to check that out. So I definitely would consider that a road trip, and it was only a couple hours away.
That's true. Yeah.
What would you consider a road trip? Like duration wise, or do you not base it on that?
No, that's a good question. Because I almost was going to classify when we did Raleigh like a day trip, but we did stay the night, so that kind of doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of the things that you and I do are more of a day trip, but we call it road tripping. But
Well, in a lot of our circumstances, because we get such a good rate at the Marriotts, then we do stay the night instead instead of
when it could be a day trip,
Right.
even though it could be, yeah. I would say, and I will say this is different. When I was younger, I could road trip for hours and it wouldn't bother me. Days. Like I drove from Arizona to Georgia kind of thing. And
I don't like super long
when I was
distance.
younger, I could
Yeah.
handle it. But that was the only way I could go back and see family because,
Airline tickets are expensive.
yeah, and I was terrified to fly. My first flight, I was probably like 19 or 20, maybe, and
Okay. Oh, you feel that wind?
I do feel the wind, it's blowing. But now, this road trip was too long.
I agree. I mean, but it was like what? It's 9 hours.
It is supposed to be an 8-hour road trip, but it takes us 10. Let's be
Okay.
realistic, it
But
takes
you know
us
what?
10.
When they say 8 hours, that means from point A to point B, and you
Correct.
don't stop.
Yep.
So you have to stop on an 8-hour trip.
I'm a stopper. I know you prefer not to stop, but I'm a stopper.
Well, I prefer not to drive 8 hours a day.
Yes.
If I'm being honest, this is a long trip for me.
So I would classify
10 hours in the car all
think,
day.
Yes, I agree. I think there's 2 types of road trips. The one where you're just trying to get to your destination because it's more convenient, you want to save money or whatever, and it's driving from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I don't like those. If I'm going on like a few days road trip and we're driving like 4 or 5 hours and stopping along the way and it turns into a 10-hour day because I'm sightseeing, like
Yeah, that's different.
I would drive to other states, other destinations
Yeah.
if I were making that the trip. I think those would
What
be
is
the
that?
2 types. It's just a bag. I think those are the 2 types of ways I would classify road tripping.
Right.
I love to plan the road trips where you're going and you're making stops along the way.
Yeah. So you like the Grand Canyon trips where like you're going around, so you spend one whole day doing the top of
I
the
would like to
loop.
plan driving to the Grand Canyon, not just the Grand Canyon being
That
the
would be a
destination.
long road trip.
I would want to plan everything
So,
from
but-
here to there.
You want to drive from Charlotte to the Grand Canyon?
I would if I had.
When I booked mine for my client, I flew her into Salt Lake City, and then she rented a car and did it like that. But she still spent a week driving around
Right,
the Grand Canyon.
and that's what I've done that for Colorado, my Colorado person, because they wanted to see all of as much of Colorado as they could. Because sometimes trips are, when you go out that far, they are one and done, and you want to experience all of it.
Yeah.
And then there are those that just want to. The trip in and of it is the vacation in and of itself, the road tripping part, and just seeing things along the way. I don't know that I would. Actually, I would probably drive from here to the Grand Canyon,
Not
from
me.
Carolina to the Grand Canyon. But it would have. I would actually make it ideally a 10 to 14 day trip.
Yeah.
Although you could do it in 7, where it's still comfortable. I think you could easily do it in 7. I guess that would be if the Grand Canyon was somewhere you wanted to spend a lot of time. It just depends on what you wanted to do, but honestly, I think if you were to do a 14-day trip, it would be coast to coast. But I'm more of a let's drive 4 or 5 hours and then stop somewhere and explore that area and then get back in the car
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah, so that guy just did the thing where you change lanes, put your blinker on as you're changing
Right.
lanes.
And that one guy passed on the right, and I hate it when people do that. Although I have had to do that a couple times when they block you in the left and right and middle lane. But I prefer not. I try not to.
If you like to go to all of those, restaurants.
Try new restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I'm not a foodie, but I like food. If that may, I don't
Like
want
when we
to.
went to Disney, Rainforest Cafe is a must. You know what I mean? Like there's
Because
some
of
that
the
you have to,
atmosphere.
yeah, and especially for the kids, and yeah, they've got the little. It's like you're in the Amazon and the rainforest. They've got the freaking birds.
Do you have a restaurant that we don't have back home? So when you go somewhere, it's a place you will go or seek out if you know it's in that area.
I mean, if it's on my bucket list or I've read really great things about it, then I definitely want to try to hit it.
But nothing specific.
like when we went to Dollywood, we went to the Bubblegum Shrimp Factory,
Oh,
that
yeah.
restaurant, just because it was, if you like that movie, it's just so many facts.
It has
and
the meaning behind it.
yeah, and they have the little bench, like he sat on the bench and you got his shoes or whatever. Something like that that's touristy, we tend
Like
to try to do that, yeah.
We, for some reason, I guess because these were in Virginia where we had them as we were growing up, Fuddruckers.
I've heard of we had a Fuddruckers in Charlotte.
We used to.
Yeah, it closed many moons ago.
Right. So when we went to Pigeon Forge,
Fuddruckers is like, what is it?
it's a hamburger place.
Okay.
But it's kind of like, it's not really like a sub, but you go in and they make your hamburger and then they shout at you that it's ready, and it's just a whole, I don't know why, but even Alexis, who's not a big meat eater, she likes Fuddruckers. So we went to Pigeon Forge and we saw that. We will go to places like that. But I will say we've had, because him being, in the military and we moved around a lot, we did get regional restaurants. So when we go back to areas and we see that, we try that.
Okay.
When we flew to Hawaii and we had the layover, or we stayed the night in LA, we went to In-N-Out Burger.
Okay.
Because that's the thing everybody talks about on the West Coast, was an
But
In-N-Out
that's kind of like a fast food, right?
Yeah, no, we'll try all of those things.
Oh, yeah. I've never been.
Yeah, it was a fast food place. It wasn't fast.
Was the quality good?
It was fast food.
Okay.
It was a burger place. And here's the thing, and this is what I will give a tip, absolutely. If you are doing like an overnight, like we just had I would call it our layover night, because we landed that late evening and we had to fly out early the next morning.
Yeah.
So we walked to the In-N-Out. We were exhausted from travel. I couldn't tell you if it was my review of it or my opinion of the food was because I was exhausted. I was managing all those people, all the kids. I don't know that I could give it an honest, biased review. Unbiased review. Yeah, not biased.
Well, factors do weigh into your
I agree.
your review on that particular day.
Yes, how you're feeling, whether you're tired, whether
If
you're
you've had
just
to
trying
overcome
to.
obstacles.
Yes. So the fact that I can say I've been to an In-N-Out Burger, I couldn't even tell you what I ordered.
I was
what
gonna be
it
like, do
tastes
you know what you ordered? And you don't know what it tasted like.
Nope. When you asked how it was, I was like, well, damn, I really don't remember.
Can you smell that?
I think we're near the paper factory.
I need you to get that peppermint out.
Oh, yes.
Actually,
I don't know what that
you gotta
smell
be on
is.
passenger princess duty. 'Cause
I get
it
to
smells,
be passenger princess.
It smells toxic.
Where do you keep it? That smells like
In the big zipper.
in the one in the back, like your
the other side of the two zippers.
Okay.
There's a big zipper.
I like our language. The zipper, the big zipper, the other
It
side.
smells so bad.
I'm looking. You've got a lot of stuff in here.
I agree.
You need pouches. You need little go bags so you could pull that bag out.
Okay.
We've talked about, babe, I don't know that.
Here, just you hold a purse and I'll just get
You know how to feel for it, yes.
Come on, peppermint.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No, I think it fell out.
All right, well
front.
then I can dig down.
Okay.
I'll dig down. I just wanted to make sure I
It smells
wasn't.
so
I'm
bad.
working on it. Oh, and you know what? I think I left our spray in the bathroom of the hotel.
Oh, shit.
I kept telling myself to grab it, but I wanted to leave it in case for the last thing to grab. Okay, this is gonna be, you know what we're gonna do is we are going to,
You want to organize my purse?
yes, this is why I can't find anything. This is, what did you say this was?
So that's actually for Nick, because he loves to get French fries and he loves malt vinegar, and not a lot of places have it. So
That's so funny. Is your Cholula in here?
I do. My Cholula's not in there right now. I do have a couple Cholula packets in there.
That's so funny. I promise I'm still looking for your peppermint,
Oh.
but if you
It
had
doesn't
it,
smell as bad, but it smells
I mean,
bad.
I found a
I had
lotion.
it before. You know that I had it because
I know.
we sniffed it.
Is it in the wine purse?
Nope.
Are you sure?
I'm
Because
positive. We sniffed it in here.
not since we've been in the car, because you gave it to Mark. You remember you had it in the wine purse.
No, I had it today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you have it today.
Oh, you know what?
Okay, I think it's in the wine purse.
Well, motherfucker.
Do you want to smell the malted vinegar? Because it'll definitely.
Oh, Jesus, this guy's trying to get over into my
Yeah.
lane.
All right. Well, and you're in his. So speed up.
Okay.
You're in his blind spot.
Jesus,
If
buddy.
you, I mean, you don't have to like Fast and Furious it. You're all right. Dang.
You still never told me I was speeding, and I think I was doing like
Yeah,
80.
it did, because these lights went off, that went off. There's lots of alerts that went off.
Well, just so
Do
you
you
know,
wanna
he's
sniff
in
of
my
this?
lane. A malt vinegar, sure.
Or some lotion.
yeah, lotion might be better.
Well, no, because what it is, like a peppermint, you want the
Oh,
strength,
that's awful.
but it will distract your brain.
it'll destruct your brain.
You want to shock your system. Do you want me to give you some lotion?
Perhaps. What does
There's
that
a
mean?
stalled vehicle ahead.
Calm down. My car does talk a lot.
It does talk. My good blown around here.
Oh, you know what I do have is a peppermint hand lotion. Why don't I put that on your hands?
Yes, honey.
Oh, fudge. Well, I'm dropping all my shit.
That's really weird about the peppermint.
I think it's in the
That is plausible.
the wine purse because you took it to our sessions every day.
It came in handy.
It's not as strong because obviously it's lotion and
It's okay.
it's not straight oil, but it'll give you some and just rub it in.
Thank you for that.
Well, I thought you were gonna leave it there. I'm like, I think you should rub it in.
Thank you.
I'm trying to be a better passenger princess. I'm working on it.
It's okay. You're doing great.
So I failed at the one task you asked me to. Get your damn peppermint. And I couldn't succeed. Where is your wine purse?
That's it's in my loaded in my suitcase.
Oh, you packed it in the suitcase. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see the wheels on that? What? How does that even work?
I don't know. It looks like low profile.
But
That's
you
some
see
kind of
how
a show
thin?
truck.
Yeah, but do you see how thin they are?
Like, what would you do with that? You just take it to shows and show it off, right?
I mean, I'm guessing. I don't see how that could be like a.
A race truck?
I don't see how that could be a race truck. It's too low to the ground.
Maybe that's how they get the speed.
Aerodynamics.
Sure.
We should know a little bit more about racing, considering we are literally down the road from the speedway.
Yeah.
We live that way.
I don't really like. I would never go to a race though. That's boring.
There's a slowdown ahead.
Look, state line. We're almost in South Carolina. We are doing well.
You would watch NASCAR racing?
I mean, I would go to anything for the first experience, because I've been to a game and I've been to a Panthers game and I don't like it. I don't like any of that.
Oh, well. Because you're not into football, right?
Well, no, I don't like the seats. I don't like where you're practically sitting in your neighbor's lap. I do not like that closeness. I've been twice to a Panthers game, and the first time we actually left at halftime. The second time it was post-COVID, and they weren't letting people sit in front or behind you or beside your party. They had the whole row in front of you empty, and they had 2 seats minimum between you and the next party. So we had so much space.
That sounds good.
And we stayed for most of the game, even though it rained. It was absolutely amazing.
It rained when I went to my last Panthers game too.
I liked being at the game in and of itself, but I did not like sitting in the seats. That's what I didn't like. I
Yeah.
like the tailgating, I like the people watching and the people meet and greet, and I like, watching. What
When
I
we
found,
went, they had an amazing firework display.
we went to a daytime game. I really like to see the behind the scenes of the commercial break stuff, which didn't make any sense to me because why do they need so many timeouts? Because they get so many breaks during the freaking commercials. I don't understand.
Sometimes timeout is so they can review a call.
I mean, I get that, but when they freak out about not having any timeouts left, there's at least 10 more commercials. Get your shit together in those 10 commercials. I don't understand. It was so fucking long.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
Look at
on that
this.
side, you're
I know, but.
I didn't realize that. I don't know what I thought. I
like the music, the lights. It's so cool.
And there's so much that goes on
Yeah.
in the stadium that's not.
I
you don't
know
see.
football. Like I know.
Right, I don't know football.
I know what the.
I couldn't tell you. I went and got football players' signature one time for Daniel because they would go to Academy Sports. I went and bought a football, Panthers football, went and had him sign it. Couldn't tell you who he was. And he's like, "You want a picture?" I was like, "No."